Today we're gonna be making 4 epic but easy and simple tofu salad. If you're someone who don't like raw tofu, this recipe might convert you. Most of them requires no heat and can be whipped up in less than 10 minutes. For the first recipe, we're gonna be whipping up these radish sprouts to tofu salad with a creamy nutty dressing. We only need to chop up one vegetable, that is radish sprout. I prefer these radish sprouts just because it has a nice crispy texture with a bit of peppery heat, but you can use any crispy vegetable like cucumber, broccoli sprout will work really well in this recipe. For the dressing to a bowl, add 1 tablespoon of mayo. Here I'm using vegan mayo, 1 teaspoon of tahini, which is a sesame paste, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, plus 1 teaspoon of rice vinegar. I was going to add the honey, but the inner lid was not opened. Anyhow, add 1/4 teaspoon of honey or any sweet nut you want. Give it a good mix.
Oh, 美味しい。美味しい。よかった。
And for the garnish, crush some nuts. I'm using almond, walnuts, and cashews. Make sure to toast it before you crush. I'm going to use silken tofu, but feel free to use any kind available for you. I just like this creamy, smooth texture. Remove the moisture as much as possible. Tofu contains a lot of moisture. Once it's combined with the dressing, the excess water will start to seep out, so this extra simple step will take it to the next level. Then place it on the plate, drizzle half of the sauce, load it up with the radish sprouts, and followed by the rest of dressing on top. Don't forget the crushed nuts and ready to be enjoyed. It's thick and creamy from the tahini with a hint of tanginess of the vinegar that rounds up the flavor. Tofu and sprouts really complement each other. This is my favorite out of 4 tofu salads.
おいしい。これいい。
味わい。
Next up, kimchi tomato tofu salad. Dice tomato into about 1/2 inch cubes. This tomato will impart a little bit of tanginess and sweetness to the sauce, so try finding the one with a strong taste. You can also use cherry tomatoes here. Transfer to the bowl. Mix kimchi into the tomato. Try to find the kimchi you love since it's essentially become the main flavor of this dressing. If the kimchi is too big, chop it up with the kitchen scissors. In a way, you don't need to do extra dishes, which is always a bonus. Add 1 tablespoon of toasted sesame oil along with the hint of soy sauce. This soy sauce will create another dimension to the taste. When I make a dressing with soy sauce, I use good quality one. You can get the same one delivered to your door from Japan. If you are interested, find the link in the description box. One more toss and that's it for the dressing. This is optional, but if you want, shred some nori seaweed as a garnish. In reality, I just stir it off by hand though. One of you told me if the nori seaweed loses its texture and becomes soft, just slightly broil it over the flame to dry up.
Stop.
To the plate, place tofu. Make sure to remove the moisture just like we did for the first one. Add a generous amount of kimchi tomato dressing on top. Garnish some nori seaweed as a finishing touch. I personally love the combination of kimchi and tomato. Kimchi is spicy, tangy, and has a ton of umami taste. Tomatoes are very refreshing and add a natural sweetness. Besides tofu, you can toss it with a cold noodle. Depending on the kimchi you opt for, you might want to add more or less soy sauce. Next, we are whipping up rainbow tofu salad. It's kinda like an Asian style of Greek salad according to my husband. First, we're gonna chop up veggies. Dice tomato into 1/2 inch cubes. Do the same for the cucumber. You can use pretty much any type of raw vegetable like carrots, celery, and corn. Since it's been so hot in Japan, I love to load up the refreshing crunchy vegetables. One thing you don't want to skip is this pickles. I got Japanese pickled daikon radish today, but feel free to sub for any other kinds of pickles. If you can't find the pickles, olive is another great option. I just want to add a little bit of tanginess and saltiness along with the fun crunchy texture. Just a heads up, if you want the exact measurement, I always have a recipe and some shop page to guide you getting the right ingredients on my blog, linked in the description box. Peel the skin off avocado and dice them up. Many of you ask me include some taste tests to help you imagine the taste of dishes. The problem is I don't have much vocabulary to describe the taste, so if you guys make one, help me by leaving a comment below so that people can know what the taste is like. Moving on, dressing. To a bowl, add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, grated garlic, equivalent to about 1 clove, 1/4 teaspoon of lemon juice. Of course, the fresh one is always better. Pinch of salt, plus 1/2 tablespoon of your choice of oil. Here I'm using Amani oil, which is high in omega-3 fat. And for the oil, I don't recommend the toasted sesame oil since it's gonna dominate the flavor. Other than that, it should be fine. Give it a good mix. Add all the vegetables we chopped and toss them to coat. Add about 1/2 teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper along with 2 teaspoons of toasted sesame seed. Make sure to toast it before you add. Toasting makes a huge difference. Finally, it's time to add the tofu. For this particular recipe, I recommend using the extra firm tofu since it's easy to crumble when we toss it if the tofu is too soft. Cut tofu into small cubes. Combine them with the rest of veggies along with the yummy dressing. Get everything in one bite and you will be amazed how flavorful that is. I feel like it's got every flavor note, a little bit of sweetness, tanginess and saltiness, but not overpowering at all. Like my husband told me, if you like the Greek salad, this can be the first one for you to try out. The last one, Natto Okura super sticky tofu salad. We call it sticky neba in Japanese, so it's often known as a neba salad. First, we're gonna blanch okura. To a pot, boil plenty of water, then add a pinch of salt. Blanch okura for about 40 seconds or so. Drain the water and let it cool down. If you have the time, rest them in the ice bath to stop the cooking process. And for today, I didn't, since I was about the time to pick up the kids. Thinly slice up the okura. The thickness does not only come from natto, it also comes from okura. This thickness contains fiber, so as you can imagine, combines natto, which is fermented food, together with a good source of fiber, which is okura, will help your digestion system. For the natto, we're gonna use this mustard and sauce. If you are vegan, use soy sauce instead of using this sauce since it usually contains fish stock. Mix natto, mustard, and sauce. Into the bowl, combine natto and chopped okura. If you are a natto lover like me, this recipe is great to try out. But if you hate natto or anything sticky and slimy, I can't recommend trying since it's exactly like how you imagine. Sliced tofu, I'm using silken tofu that has already wiped off the moisture. Add natto and okura generously on top of it. You might want to add more soy sauce, so feel free to add more. There you have it. They are all perfect for the size but not as filling as to be a main dish. I recommend to make some bowl of rice along with soup. I linked a couple recipes to go with this tofu salad in the description box. And one more thing, if you are looking for more raw tofu recipes, I have 3 more, so let me share the link for you. For today's recipe, besides the last natto one, I think most of you will enjoy it. If you make one, tag me on Instagram at Miwa Japanese Cooking Class. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye, mata ne!